Halo Spartans can recon a freaking planet, kill whole waves of enemies, and save the galaxy. But can they produce children? Oh yes, another weird taboo video. We recently made a video on discussing how Spartans go number 1 and 2 in those thick military Spartan suits. So to honor that appraised video, here is another bizarre topic that we're gonna discover. So let's set the foundation for this video. I'm gonna try to keep a serious face while talking about this because, quite honestly, this is a bit of a weird thing to discuss on a Halo channel. So firstly, let's talk about how Spartans are obviously humans, and therefore, being Homo sapiens, they have urges, right? But does a life of servitude allow for intercourse, let alone having a child? Well, let's first whip out the most popular fact of how the Spartans lost their sex drive. In short, they don't have the urge to bang like most of us probably do from time to time. Spartan IIs, like Sergeant Johnson, lack the augmentations and the harsh realities of the latter Spartans, so they of course can bear children just like any regular human being. Reports say that Spartan I's children even had more advanced strengths than their non-Spartan parent comrades. Most of us are aware that Master Chief, through his action and dialogue, pretty much has no desire to, how do I say this, spread his seed. So the sexual drive of Chief and most of the Spartan IIs is non-existent, it's not there. So they have one purpose in life. As Spartans, that is war, it is fighting. So any of these outside pleasures like drugs, alcohol, sex, must be cast aside for obvious reasons. Although there are rumors that the augmentations affect some more than others in this aspect. That doesn't mean that they are incapable of having children, though if they chose to. Interesting discussion here. Spartan Randall 037, the ex-Spartan from Halo Nightfall, revealed that he actually had a daughter that he loved and cherished more than anything. Randall had operations to remove most of the Spartan abilities, but whether this had anything to do with him having a child is unknown at this point. Spartan IIIs like Cat, Carter, and Noble 6 had some of the same side effects as their Spartan II predecessors, but they do differ in one major category. Spartan IIs were forced to be put into the program at the age of 6, getting them before one huge life transition. Drum rolls, please. Puberty. Spartan IIIs were of all ages, as the individuals were not stolen from their families, but rather instead voluntarily decided to join the Spartan program after the Covenant laid waste to their parents and family. Some of them could have been very young kids, others could have been teens, which is what we're going to focus on now. You see, the Spartan IIIs who were in their teens or right after the age of puberty already had the early stages of the sexual drive kick in that occurs in this age frame. So even though they were transformed into killing machines, they still remembered all the benefits of another's embrace. In short, Spartan IIIs were much more casual with this topic and even embraced in sexual conversations from time to time. Now this of course could very well lead to Spartan III children, we think, although no cases have surfaced as of yet. Now Spartan IVs, on the other hand, are the first breed of Spartans to be made fully of already adult candidates. These people already lived 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 decades of their lives, so you can imagine that they are probably, hopefully, completely aware of their sexuality. Spartan IVs, generally speaking, are no different than who they were before the augmentations, so it all depends on the individual as far as how interested they are in intercourse. We see a perfect example of this in Halo 4 Spartan Ops with Spartan D. Marco when speaking to Spartan Palmer.
Oh my. I saw her first. Hi there.
Well, hello, Spartan.
Paul DeMarco. I lead Fire Team Majestic.
Wow, a whole fire team, huh?
I didn't catch your name?
Sarah Palmer. Commander Sarah Palmer. I lead all the fire teams aboard Infinity.
Fire Team Majestic, Commander on deck!
S-Deck is this way.
Shut it.
Out of all the Spartans in Halo, the 4s are the most likely to be able to both want and have children, and surely as time goes on in the Halo universe, perhaps we might see a couple children of Spartan 4s. So now we're gonna talk about the science behind it, if you're still with me. Obviously, if a Spartan chose to have children, they would need a counterpart, obviously, right? And unless a circumstance like that of Spartan Randall, getting augmentations taken out, occurs, it is highly unlikely a Spartan could have a child with anyone other than another Spartan. This, of course, is due to the immense size and power differences between a normal human and a Spartan. Without getting too much into detail, it just wouldn't be very comfortable for the non-Spartan, if you get my drift. Spartan men are rumored to be much more capable of actually producing children, as they don't have to worry about all the internal changes when it comes to childbearing. Simply, it's just much easier to produce a seed than actually to produce a child, right? So Spartan women, if they get pregnant, will still need to have their muscles, bones, and internal organs shifted in order to support the growing child. But due to augmentations, the lady's body isn't going to be so easily morphed. Now, it's kind of cool, interesting, and a little bit weird and bizarre to even talk about Spartans having children. In reality, if this was actually a thing, if Halo was a reality, this would actually be very difficult. Now, the idea of a Spartan having a child could very well lead to birth defects, tons of different disorders physically and mentally, or maybe even death to the child or Spartan as well, if not carefully observed. For Spartan 2s and 3s, it is unlikely that the motherly instincts would even kick in due to the much more harsh augmentations and training that they endured, which could lead to potential problems later down the road, and the same goes for the men of those generations as well, but of course, men have it a lot easier than women here. But we are forgetting one major variable to this topic, something that could change this subject almost entirely. This takes place 500 plus years in the future. This is Halo, right? Even today, people are capable of things that they thought was impossible 20 or 30 years ago that are now possible here in 2017 in the medical field. So we can assume technology in the 2500s and beyond would be able to help a Spartan have a child without actually making or bearing the child at all. Well, that just takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it? In the end, yes, all signs do point to Spartans being able to have children. It really does come down to whether or not they want to, which in most cases, then not, it's probably the last thing on their mind, especially with the ones taken as children that never even went through the puberty. And there's so many mental and there's so many physical variables with this, it's kind of hard to really decide how easy or difficult it would be to a Spartan bearing a child, but it looks like, because it's so far in the future and with everything they've been able to do with technology in the future here in Halo, it looks like, yeah, they probably could pull it off with almost any Spartan. Spartans having children has been dabbled in some by the writers of Halo a few times now, just like whether Spartans go number 1 and 2 and how. But we will probably never get too much on this topic, let alone actually visiting a real child of a Spartan. But at the end of the day, Spartans are war machines, alright? So they're developed to kill, they're developed to change the outcomes of wars, so they're not the best family material by any means, and they'd probably be, in all honesty, terrible parents. Just being honest here. So obviously a lot of this is us filling in the blanks, speculating, can Spartans have children? But let me leave you guys with a thought before I go. Do you think ONI and UNSC and any others plan to use the Spartans as a way to fast forward human evolution? If you think about it, in a lot of ways, Spartans are the next step in the human evolution. And it would be really cool to see that maybe this Spartan DNA and genes, if Spartans start having kids, will begin to come down from generation to generation. And maybe in a couple hundred years, there's 5,000, 10,000 people that just awaken with these Spartan abilities, that they're stronger and faster than everybody else. It would be really cool to see something play off that in the future of Halo. And maybe, let me leave you with one last thing. If Master Chief does die in Halo 6 or in the future of Halo, perhaps John 117's kid, someone that he hooked up with a long time ago, comes into the picture and we follow Master Chief's son. Or even better yet, I think it would be really cool to have his daughter be the new protagonist of Halo. That would be crazy. I think it deserves a separate discussion and maybe a Halo club, but just some food for thought. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you had a good time, then be sure to drop this video a like and share it to your friends. And by the way, big thanks to Jacob for writing most of this. Excellent work. I love the research. Awesome stuff. And be sure to subscribe to get updated on more videos just like this. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.